Bobby Driscoll. Bobby Driscoll was Disney's first male child actor to receive an exclusive contract, becoming the studio's golden boy in the late 1940s and early 1950s. He starred in iconic films such as Song of the South, 1946, Treasure Island, and famously provided the voice and live-action reference for Peter Pan, 1953. Walt Disney saw in Driscoll the embodiment of youthful innocence and charm, making him a beloved figure and a symbol of the studio's ideal child star. However, as Driscoll entered puberty, changes in his appearance, especially severe acne, led Disney executives to believe he no longer fit their image. Without warning, his contract was terminated abruptly, leaving Driscoll without the powerful backing he had grown accustomed to. Struggling to find new roles, his career quickly declined. In his late teens, he battled substance abuse, legal troubles, and multiple arrests. By the 1960s, Driscoll was homeless, living in abandoned buildings in New York City's East Village. In March 1968, his body was found in a deserted tenement, unidentified and unrecognized. He was buried in an unmarked pauper's grave. Driscoll's tragic downfall from celebrated child star to forgotten casualty underscores the brutal realities behind Hollywood's glamour and the devastating impact fame can have when it fades too quickly. Anissa Jones. Anissa Jones rose to fame as Buffy, the beloved character on the TV sitcom Family Affair, 1966 to 1971. Starting her career at age 8, she became a household name. But the role that made her famous also confined her to a typecast image. After the show ended, Jones struggled to land new roles, as casting directors couldn't see beyond her Buffy persona. Off-screen, her life became increasingly difficult. Her parents' bitter divorce triggered a tumultuous custody battle, and the death of her father in 1974 left her emotionally adrift. Jones dropped out of school, moved in with friends, and began drifting through unstable jobs. Entertainment historian Jeffrey Mark described her downward spiral involving petty theft, erratic behavior, and mood swings. In early 1976, she inherited nearly $200,000 from her earnings on Family Affair. But instead of providing stability, the money fueled self-destructive habits. Weeks before her death, friends noticed heavy partying and decline. In August 1976, she was found unresponsive in a friend's home in Oceanside, California. Her death ruled an accidental overdose from a deadly mix of substances. Anissa Jones's story remains a tragic example of Hollywood's child stars celebrated in the spotlight, but often forgotten and vulnerable once the cameras stop rolling. Scotty Beckett. Scotty Beckett captured audiences' hearts as a child actor with his distinctive look, a crooked cap and oversized sweater, in the Our Gang series. Praised for his performance as young Al Jolson in The Jolson Story, 1946, critics admired his heartfelt and believable acting. However, as he grew older, Beckett struggled to find adult roles, a common plight for child stars. Offers dwindled, and he turned to alcohol and drugs, leading to escalating legal troubles. These included drunk driving, drug possession, forgery, and assault. In 1954, he infamously led police on a high-speed chase, crashed his car, and tried to escape on foot. Despite multiple attempts to turn his life around, the downward spiral continued. By the late 1950s, his once promising career was in ruins. Tragically, on July 10, 1968, Scotty Beckett was found dead in a Los Angeles motel room due to a barbiturate-related incident. His life reflects the harsh realities many child actors face, caught between early fame and personal demons, often unable to transition smoothly into adulthood in Hollywood's unforgiving spotlight. Carl Switzer. Carl Switzer was best known as Alfalfa, the freckle-faced, mischievous character in the Our Gang comedies of the 1930s. One of the era's most recognizable child actors, Switzer's charm made him a beloved figure. However, as he matured, Hollywood's favor waned. Casting directors could only see him as the troublemaker alfalfa, making it difficult for him to secure adult roles. Financial struggles plagued him. He accepted bit parts in films like White Christmas and The Defiant Ones, bartended and trained hunting dogs. In 1959, a bizarre dispute over a hunting dog loaned to Moses Stilts escalated fatally. On January 21st, Switzer, reportedly intoxicated and furious, confronted Stilts, who claimed self-defense after Switzer allegedly pulled a knife. An eyewitness later suggested Switzer was leaving when shot, casting doubt on official accounts. Switzer's death barely made headlines, overshadowed by the passing of director Cecil B. DeMille the same day. At just 31, the boy America adored was gone. His story exemplifies the fleeting nature of child stardom and the vulnerabilities faced by young actors growing up in Hollywood's harsh glare. Bobby Buntrock. Bobby Buntrock's life ended tragically at just 21 when his car plunged into Rapid Creek near Keystone, South Dakota, in 1974. The bridge he crossed had been damaged by the Black Hills flood 2 years earlier, and safety measures were reportedly inadequate. As a beloved child star, Buntrock won fans playing Harold Baxter on the popular 1960s sitcom Hazel. After the show ended in 1966, Buntrock stepped away from Hollywood, returning home to finish high school and lead a quieter life away from the entertainment world. Unlike many child actors who fought to maintain their careers, Buntrock appeared content with his decision to leave. However, despite avoiding the usual pitfalls of child stardom such as addiction or scandal, fate dealt a cruel blow. The accident ended a young life full of potential. His death stunned fans who remembered him fondly and serves as a poignant reminder that even those who avoid the typical struggles of Hollywood's child stars are not immune to tragedy. Billy Laughlin. Billy Laughlin was best known for his role as Froggy in the MGM-produced Our Gang shorts. His unmistakable raspy voice made him an instant standout, and many believed his lines were dubbed by an adult actor. In reality, Laughlin developed the unique tone by mimicking Popeye after playing with a puppet his mother gave him, which became his signature gimmick. His acting career was closely tied to the Our Gang series, which ended in 1944. Unlike many child stars, Laughlin didn't chase fame beyond the series. He returned to a normal childhood and avoided the pressures of Hollywood's demanding spotlight. Tragically, his life was cut short at just 16 years old in 1948 when he died in a motor scooter accident in California. He and a friend were delivering newspapers when a truck collided with their scooter. His friend survived, but Laughlin was thrown 40 feet and suffered fatal injuries despite being rushed to the hospital. Billy Laughlin's story stands out as that of a child star who left the industry quietly, but whose life ended suddenly and tragically before he could choose his own path. Peggy Ann Garner. Peggy Ann Garner was Hollywood's golden girl, winning a Juvenile Academy Award at just 13 for her moving role in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, 1945. She was praised as a talent beyond her years, quickly rising to stardom in the 1940s under the guidance of her mother, who pushed her into modeling and talent contests even before she was in grade school. Garner worked alongside Hollywood's biggest stars, landing major roles throughout her childhood. However, as she matured, roles became scarce. Hollywood struggled to market her as an adult actress. She attempted reinvention on Broadway, appearing in productions like Bus Stop, but never recaptured her early success. By the 1960s, acting jobs were rare, and she turned to work in sales and hotel management. Her personal life was marked by 3 marriages, all ending in divorce. Peggy Ann Garner died at 52 from pancreatic cancer in 1984. Over time, her Academy Award trophy vanished, becoming one of Hollywood's lingering mysteries. Garner's story highlights the fleeting nature of child stardom and the difficult transition many face as they grow older in the entertainment industry. Bobby Jordan. Bobby Jordan was a key member of the Dead End Kids, a group of young actors who appeared with Humphrey Bogart in Dead End during the late 1930s. The franchise evolved into the East Side Kids and later the Bowery Boys. But while co-stars Leo Gorcey and Hunts Hall remained prominent, Jordan's roles diminished. Frustrated by shrinking parts and lower pay, he left the series. During World War II, Jordan served in the Army Air Forces, but suffered a knee injury that limited his post-war career. Returning to Hollywood, he found little work, drifting through odd jobs such as bartending and selling photographs. His marriage ended, and alcohol became a constant companion. By the early 1960s, Jordan's health deteriorated due to cirrhosis of the liver. He died in 1965 at age 42. Jordan's life reflects the difficult aftermath of child stardom, where early promise can give way to hardship, health issues, and faded fame once the industry moves on. Beverly Washburn. Beverly Washburn was a prolific child actress during the 1950s, appearing in well-known films like Old Yeller and popular TV shows, including The Loretta Young Show and Wagon Train. Early in her career, Washburn was everywhere. Yet as she matured, she faced Hollywood's infamous Catch-22. Too old for child roles, too inexperienced for adult parts. This typecasting problem prevented her from securing steady work. By the 1960s, financial difficulties plagued her, partly because early TV actors received no residual payments, leaving many child stars like Washburn without long-term financial security. Later in life, she turned to writing and published a memoir, recounting her struggles in Hollywood. Though beloved in classic film, circles mainstream fame eluded her as she aged. Washburn's experience exemplifies the harsh reality many child actors face. Early success often followed by neglect and hardship as the industry moves on. George Spanky McFarland. George Spanky McFarland was one of the most famous faces from the Our Gang series, adored for his roly-poly frame, chubby cheeks, and cheeky grin. His decade-long run as the lovable troublemaker ended in 1942, leaving him struggling to find roles beyond the character that defined him. Typecasting was a curse for McFarland. Offers dried up, and he was forced to leave acting. He found work in various jobs and eventually settled into a career in sales, rising to become a national training director. Despite efforts to distance himself from his childhood fame, the public and fans continually associated him with Spanky. This lingering recognition was both a blessing and a burden. Financial difficulties occasionally arose, and rumors circulated that he resented the early fame that haunted him. McFarland once reportedly said he wouldn't take $1 million for the experience nor a penny to do it again, though this quote's authenticity is debated. His story highlights the lasting impact of early fame and the challenge of finding one's identity after childhood stardom. Diana Baby Peggy Sacre. Diana Baby Peggy Sacre was Hollywood's youngest silent film star and one of the most famous child actors of the 1920s. She fearlessly performed her own dangerous stunts, including scenes where she was held underwater or rode under moving trains. By age 5, she was earning nearly $1 million annually, headlining films such as Captain January. Behind the scenes, her father, a former stuntman, tightly controlled her career, contracts, and finances, pushing her relentlessly and denying her a normal childhood. A dispute between her father and studio executives led to her blacklisting, leaving her unemployable almost overnight. Despite amassing a vast fortune, poor financial management by her father left the family penniless by her teenage years. She worked as a department store clerk to survive. Determined to reclaim her story, Diana reinvented herself as a writer and historian, exposing the brutal realities child stars faced. Alongside Jackie Coogan, she fought for better protections for young actors, contributing to the passage of the Coogan Law. Inducted into the Classic Film Hall of Fame in 2016, she lived to 101, becoming the last surviving silent film star and a vital voice for child actors' rights.